Hello folks and welcome back to Mindustry. In our last episode we had a disastrous experience where lost a sector, not fun, this one right here, yeah, got absolutely walloped. So I'm kind of still shaking that off. I don't really remember much of what happened after that because I'm sad still. So I think we're going to today just going to not go to any of these places because I just want a nice quick wind, something that makes me feel better about what happened in the last one. So we're just going to go around here and take a look and see what we can find. Apparently 104 we lost at some point, so because we know the resources, and that's an easy way to see what you have or don't have. This one we had resources, and you can see on these ones we don't have anything. So I'm just going to go into a low threat area just to make myself feel a little bit better, make sure that I kind of still know how this works. I think, and we're just going to kind of go from there. So we're launching off here, and we'll figure out what's going on here in just a moment. Okay, so we're probably going to deal with water attacks just based on what we have here. We have some resources. Ooh, okay. There's some resources back here. I thought this was going to continue back around. And we take a look here. We got lots of water right up front. A little area over here. And going up over here, that there was previously stuff here, so that's encouraging because it means there's enough here to at least keep whoever was here before. And then there's a whole area over here that has just tons and tons of resources. If we're looking through here, though, the area that we're weakest on by like a ton is coal. We have a little spot here near our core. There's nothing down here. Let's see what else we have. There's a little spot right there, which is garbage. There's nothing on that entire side. There's some spots here, which is encouraging. Those are larger spots that we can do things with, but it's really far from our core. So we're going to have to do some work to get things back. There's another spot right here. What I'm also encouraged by on this one is there's lots of scrap, which means we can do some fun things. And then there's this one here, but I'm assuming that this whole area up here is underneath control of where the bad guys are at. And there's some more coal here. So maybe not quite as bad as what I originally thought, but let's go explore very quickly here and just see where things are at. And maybe that will give us a better idea of what we need to do here. So I'm just going to fly up. I'm assuming it's going to be in this, yep, see? Okay, so that whole area there is not going to be useful to us, but we have lots of other cool stuff that I think we're going to be able to do here. So our first goal here is to establish some of the basics, and then we'll figure out what we need to do from there. So basic wise, I'm going to do that, and that is all going to get dumped right into the core, like so. Now luckily we have a bunch of resources that we brought with us, so we can kind of get a little ahead of where we would otherwise need to be. And then let's see. Again, I'm assuming that we're going to be facing ground-based attacks here in just a little bit. Or, excuse me, water-based attacks here. So I'm just going to load this area up. And I got to figure out the best way to do that. Alright, we'll do something like that, I think. That's good for now, for that stuff. We will get plenty more feeding into the core here in just a little bit. Now, we're not real limited on the basic resources, which is exciting, because for a while here, we've been kind of a little down on the basics, and I'm happy to report here that we're not down on the basics of this one, so that's a good thing. But let's, oh, nope, not that spot. I'm just going in and covering some of my bases here, making sure that I have at least a little bit of protection for this stuff here. So we have that. We're going to dump some walls in this way. You can see some of these ones farther out here still do not have any ammo whatsoever, so it doesn't happen for a nice long time that we don't actually start getting stuff loaded up with ammo. But that's okay. Now, I'm not trying to go bananas here right out of the gate, because I do want to make sure that we just have our bases covered. There's no other fun stuff here. Like, we're going to have electricity to melt down a lot of the really giant resources here. But I do love that we just have tons of coal, or not coal, copper, and scrap. There's a lot of, like, basic resources that we can hopefully take advantage of here in this world. And we'll see what kind of bad guys come our way here in just a little bit. Because they'll be here in no time at all. But that's okay. Now for now, I'm going to dump it onto that belt system. That's not going to be the final destination of that. But that's going to be good for now, at least to get us loaded up on our defenses. But we're going to overwhelm this real fast. You'll see that we have all this stuff kind of coming out of both sides here because we've pretty much loaded up on all of these now, which is good. But that does present some problems for down the road. You can see even this. We've already filled this belt up. We're going to have to speed that up a little bit down the road here and get some things. Let's take a look and see what we have coming our way. We do. Oh, it's air units. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so we're going to have to provide ourselves a little protection here. Because I was not prepared for that. I did not really think that we'd have air units coming in this one, but we do. And we don't have any defense against that yet, except for way down further. So let's just go in and get the basic scatter town set up here. Nope, not that spot. And I apologize. I imagine most of you who play this game are also exact where you like to have your things and how your spacing goes. If you're not, that's cool, but that's just how I am with this stuff. I like to have everything spaced the way that makes sense to my brain. And yeah. But now we have this belt area covered. We'll probably put another one up here or over here because that's not really a danger area, although it could be. That's the thing with some of these worlds, is you never know what is actually going to come at you, which I kind of dig. It's one of the fun parts of this game, is that you kind of never really fully know what's going to be coming here. Alright, so that's a hot mess now. So this is going to now have to be coming out that way. Because that's just too much. I guess I should build the rest of that belt system there. Okay. Now again, we have absolutely no titanium in this world. So this is a little stupid, should I say, by putting it nice. And I'm being nice myself here, but it's not the best way to do this. Alright, there we go. Now that should be flowing in. I'll load those up. We have another bad guy coming in who hopefully, yeah, doesn't even stand a chance there. We're going to throw another one of those up here, I think. Another little scatter farm. Because I do want to start actually producing some stuff that will keep us safer longer term here, but right, there we go. So that area is at least protected, kind of. I probably should build a wall here just in case there's any ground units. I don't want them coming that way. This is probably a tremendous waste of time and resources, but again, just because I don't know what's coming our way, I'm going to just provide some basic cover for ourselves here. And then we'll deal with the fallout of whatever my decision making is here in just a little while. But that should be enough to at least get that covered. And then I'm assuming boats are coming down this way. But I really want to make sure this area here is safe because I have a lot of coal, which is good. We have a little offshoot of water here. So we can very easily set up like some steam generators and get some power going here. And then from there, we can start focusing on some of the resources that we need to do. We're going to need a lot of power from what I can take in here. Okay, so it doesn't even get to that second round, which is great. But what I'm thinking, and I could be completely wrong here, but my goal for this section here, there we go. Okay, now we can start filling that belt up. Let me get back to my ideas here, which are dangerous and probably not that good. But what I'm thinking as we go through this is that we need to produce a lot of electricity, which is going to allow us to melt down a lot of the scrap because we have the separators, which we can use slag and kind of do some things with. But we need to get the basics of that rolling here pretty solidly. So something like this where it's drilling at 1.4 versus if we get a bunch of those actually covers that area just slightly better, and we should be able to get some extra production out of them. So we're going to go with these for just this section, I think. And I guess in theory we could put the water producers on there. So let's go, nope, not that one. Let's go into our schematics, get our graphite press set up, and we'll just begin the initial production of what we need for this particular world. Alright, we'll get that one set up. Go. We'll get the basic resources flowing in. While we're not really hurting for anything right now, we still want to make sure we do the basics. Let's see, what are they throwing at us this time around? Oh, 2 flyers. Okay. Again, they both get knocked out pretty quick, which is the goal here. What I should probably do is, as they continue to send flying guys for some reason, we're just going to continue this beltway like that. Just to make sure we have good overlap with the other current scatters that we have. There we go. Okay. So that's going to use up a bunch of that scrap there that's being used to fuel our scatters. And again, scatters don't really like scrap. The fire rate goes down a whole bunch. The damage area is fine, but lead is way better. And metaglass isn't actually nearly as good as I thought it was. Okay, cool. Let's go in here and figure out what we can do next, because I have a lot of questions about what I want to do here. All right. I think our next goal is to set up some type of power production. We have area over here, we have here, and there's just hot nothingness over in this area. I think our power production makes the most sense to set up somewhere over in this area. So I want to get I want to do a lot of things, but we need to get our initial power production set up here. So be something like that. And I'm just going to throw in one router here. And we'll throw in a battery back here, along with a large power node just to cover everything that needs to be covered there. And with the steam generator, do we actually need to have... No, it doesn't actually require any electricity out of the gate, so that's a good thing. So we can do something like this. Oh yeah, I should probably put another router right there. There we go. Okay, we have power. And what to do with that power. So, let's take a look here. We have a large power node. We're going to continue that over to this side, hopefully. And thank you for the people who've said you can just click, hold, and drag on this. I realize that now. It does definitely make life easier. Alright, so I have that. And that's going to allow us to go in and we can get our silicon stuff set up because we have the things we need to do for that. So let me quickly address that problem. And I really should go in and make a whatchamacallit for it. I'm losing my mind. I should make a schematic for that, but I have not done so yet. But this is going to be our silicon area. So we're going to set up our factory here. The silicon crucible. What does that one do? I don't remember seeing that. Oh, so I have to put in pyrite. It outputs a whole lot more silicon. When you look at this one, it outputs 1.5 per second. This one outputs 5.3, which is awesome. But it requires a lot more in the way of resources. So I'm not going to worry about that quite yet. Because, one, I can't. But also, I don't know what I'm doing with that. So I'm not going to play with that world yet. Now, for those of you that use schematics rather heavily, do you have like 1, 2, and like do you just put in one, or do you have like multiples? Like, so what I mean here is I have 3 of these smelters set up right now. Do you just do 1 and then replicate it, or do you have like stuff for 1, 2, and 3 range systems just to kind of make your life a little easier? And again, thank you for all the comments. The community of Mindustry, a game I've played, but I'm not like crazy familiar with. But there's just been so many helpful people leaving so many good comments and helpful comments. I really do appreciate it. It's making my knowledge in this game significantly better, because if you couldn't tell, it was really bad before. And it's still not good, but it's better than what it was before. So thank you, folks, for those of you who are continuing to comment and help me out here. I really, really do appreciate it. Alright. So we have that stuff set up. We now just need to bring it all the way back home. Up, hold on. You see that? We have bad guys. Just try to do one thing, and they come in here and just destroy everything. All my hard work, gone, ruined. It's okay. That wasn't actually that bad of an attack for what it could have been. But now at least we know that they are getting smarter, and that they do have more up their sleeves. So I want to pause this real fast so we can build out some actual protections here. Alright, and that should give us at least a little air protection. As we will have another wave coming in here very shortly. Game never gives you a moment to just kind of relax and be. It just always, you're always going. Which I really do like about this game, that there's always something to be worried about or always something to fiddle with and try to produce or do something different. It's very, very fun. Alright, so now that I have that, this stuff I think I can dump into this belt. Nah, maybe not. I thought that belt was much less full than what it is, but it's pretty darn full. Alright, real quick, there's bad guys coming. It's boat based. Alright, and they're not really getting much in yet. They will soon, so we do need to start paying attention to them a little bit more. But for right now, I just want to get the silicon back to where it belongs, which is in our core. It's coming a very long way, but hopefully it will make its journey, and that will be good to go from there. Alright, as far as some of this other stuff goes, we do need to have some... trying to decide how I want to do this, because in our last one, we got rocked pretty quickly and pretty definitively from a bunch of different things, and I'm not looking to repeat that, but I am looking to kind of set up some bases of fire here that we could kind of knock them down with. So maybe in this area up here, I could throw some lancers in. I know they're slow, but at least we have some basic stuff we can deal with, and we have plenty of titanium, so I'm not worried about that part of the problem. And there's nothing I can really do to defend that node. That node's kind of in a bad spot. Can a mender reach that node? Okay, yeah, we can do that. So something like that will still fix that particular area. And then to increase our power, we just throw a router there and there. Our power goes crazy. And we are doing all of the things that I think we need to do here. I'm also going to, let's see here. Just throw a little extra sand that way. Just try to maximize that production. Alright, let's see what we have. Yeah, you can see how slow they really are. They're terribly slow. So what can we do to salvos? Salvos do take copper. They cover large areas, and we can easily get copper down into these spots. So maybe we'll try salvos and just see how fast they respond without getting shot ourselves here. And what I really should do is just build a navy. I forgot that we can do that. Alright, so take a look at a navy. We need metaglass. Okay. So we need to, let's focus on getting that production set up here. Let's see, is there a good source of lead anywhere? No lead there. There's a little bit of lead there, but it's not like a good source. There's a little bit of lead there, but again, not a good source. Wow. This world is actually pretty devoid of good lead production. We have this spot down here. Let's see, what do we want to do? So the kilns, lead glass, it's lead and sand. I actually don't need that much lead, so let's do that down here. We'll just produce a little offshoot there. Actually, let's just make it 1 over so that we don't go too crazy. So we'll do something like that. And then we can do something like this. And we'll have to bring power down, obviously, but we'll get there. Alright, so we have that. Let's go get our power nodes. I know I can click, hold, and drag. I'm just trying to snake this up the most inconspicuous way possible while trying not to get destroyed here. There we go. Let's see how our salvos do. Yeah, that's way better. Okay, that makes me feel better. We'll throw some more up here, because that's just a significantly better solution to our problem than what we had before. Now, it's a little weird for me right now, because usually you're fighting for resources and all that. I don't really feel like I'm doing that right now. It's nice to have this giant buffer of stuff that you can transport over with you. So that's awesome. I'm just, as somebody who's not played all the way through all parts of this game, is that, I know we've previously discussed kind of going in and using launch pads to kind of build out things and do stuff. Does that... I guess what I'm looking for is, like, is that like the normal part, like you just eventually build up enough stuff that you can just kind of wreck house on anything that comes your way, or is it you need to kind of still appropriate your stuff to make sure that when you do kind of fight the whatever is coming later in our way, that you still need to like build stuff out, or is it really just like build up all the things you possibly can right now so that you don't have to deal with them later? Because I'm just trying to figure out the best way to approach parts of this game. Oh, there's really good lead right there. Look at that. There's no way to get it down there easily or without facing certain death. So we're not going to worry about that. And there's a little lead there too. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is throw a little hook over here. And we're just going to have another northern branch of our... Nope, don't shoot me. I don't want to play. Yeah, see, I would like to knock those guys out a little sooner. So that they kind of get roughed up a bit before they ever reach or have the chance of reaching our stuff. There we go. We have at least some basic stuff set up a little better here, I think. And we are producing power. We're doing a good job of storing that stuff up most of the way. Now let's see what we want to do with that scrap. Because we have our graphite press. We don't have the multi-press. I should look at that real fast. That's coal and water. That's right. But where did I set up my initial press? Down here. Getting water down there is not going to be that big of a deal. We could do that. I'm going to pause that for right now. What I do want to do though is get this production up. It's not enough. So we're going to get rid of that for now. And I think a laser drill is going to be a better option for us on that stuff. And we have another round coming our way, 6 enemies, but you can see that just that fills that belt up real nice for us. Let's see, air-wise, they're coming in. They hopefully, yeah, they've met their maker pretty quick. They crashed all the way out there. These guys are getting better, but they do get wiped out, which is better than not getting wiped out. Let's see, we could throw a salvo up here, right? So let's get that back into where it belongs. And let's throw a salvo or a few up here. We're already on wave 12, which feels good. But I want to get more done with this world. I'd like to sort some things out and make sure that we have all of the things that we need to have set up here. So that should help that area out there. Put a little mender out there. Again, I know I can click, hold, and drag. I'm just trying to space these in a way that's out of the way as much as possible. There we go, and you can see it is actually doing some work on some of these other places, so that's good, I guess. All right. So let's pause this real fast. Take a look at our production here. We have the kiln, we have graphite, we have silicon, so we have our bases covered. The cryofluid mixer I don't think is going to do much for us right now. One, we don't have a lot of lead, and two, it doesn't really mean much for us. The pyrite mixer, I don't think there's much we need for pyrite. Same with the blast mixer. The blast mixer makes blast compound, which I don't know what really that does still. The melter, we do need a melter to be able to produce slag. It should take one of those every 6 seconds and produce 12 per second, if I'm reading that right. Please let me know if I'm reading that right. And then the separator here, it's going to import slag and it's going to make all of that stuff. So that's kind of where I want to be because I think that's the most logical next steps here. The platinum compressor needs oil and titanium, and we can make platinum. So we do have some options here of stuff that we can produce. But let's go in here and let's use some of the resources that we have here to do some more things with. Let's take a look. Boats, okay. We have our air power coming in. So they all get shot up right before they get there. Those guys are toast. Thanks in part to them. Okay, I'm feeling good about that. All right, let's go in and take a look here again. Because I'm not super, again, I'm not super good and familiar with all of this stuff. Where's my disassembler or separator? That's what I wanted. It requires just slag. Okay, great. So the kiln, not the kiln, the melter. Where's it at? There we go. So we're going to take all of that, and we're just going to come up here, and we're going to figure out where we want to put all that stuff. So I'm going to start off with just 2 melters, I think. And that's going to go to a separator. I think if we could do like just 2, like just an even trade here, that would be kind of cool. Alright, so those guys are going. We have all of that. And then we have to go the long way around here. Going through and building this crazy long way for the things that we want to have to get to where they need to be. Oh, and cryofluid. I realized a mistake. Cryofluid doesn't require lead, it requires titanium, which again, we are just now starting to produce with this. Which is great, but again, we're going to need a whole bunch more to get this going. So I'm hoping I can throw 4 on here. And we'll see what happens. So if I can do those guys there. And we'll find out what happens here in just a second. And we're pretty much breaking even with our power. Our slag production is moving, but it's not where it needs to be quite yet. There we go. And you can see it's blowing through all that stuff, so we're doing our job there. let's talk about our power production. We can get another steam generator on here because I want to add some more stuff. And I think we're going to go over here just in case we need to add even more. It's going to give us the ability to do so. Alright, we're back up in the power range. We're doing all the things we need to do, but you can see that we are desperately, slowly dying on the slag there, so get some laser drills up here. Throw in a water extractor as well, even though water is relatively close, it's easier to throw on one of those. And we're just going to throw that in right there. And that should increase our slag production on that real fast. There we go. Again, what I'd really like to do is throw out whole belts of this. So we may bring some stuff from up here down a little farther. Oh. Let's get a quick little mender out here to help that one out. Because they keep crashing on the poor thing. And we're negative power with the addition of that mender, so we're just gonna quickly here. There we go, and that should help solve our water problems. There we go. Okay. That looks good. Although we're not producing enough water to sustain what we need there, so we're going to get rid of those two water pumps. And we're going to put a rotary pump into place. And that should fix our problems there. And as far as the rest of this goes, I mean, we're doing all right so far. I think we have all the things we need to have in place to do what needs to be done. I'm going to throw on one more steam generator, I think. I'm producing lots of power. And all the way down here, we can throw on some more batteries, I think. I think just another set of what we had up there will kind of fire up the rest of this production. So we have that going. I could... say, throw on two more there. Do that. Throw a separator. And if we change this over to be higher speed stuff, that should hopefully help out as well. Ooh, we got some bombers on their way in. They never really make it, but it's good to know that they're looking for that. So what I think we might do is add an air factory here with a nice little router. And we'll look at flares. And then if we look at the additive reconstructor, just going over into our research here. After the flare, we have the horizon, and after that is the zenith, which fires salvos. It just requires so much stuff. We're not going to do that. And I don't know what that logo, I've never seen that logo there before. We're just going to worry about the monos. And we're going to send them... Hey, my recorder had an issue here, so I lost a whole bunch of progress. So let's go over what I did. This is no different than what we had before. This area set up, we pretty much have not changed anything big deal along this area. I think this area was not captured in the recording, and I apologize. But everything else has been. I think I added also one more of these separators, and maybe this area up here, which is feeding all that. If we take a look at how it's feeding it, this one's not even doing anything anymore. It's all being fed through this one. So we could even put more stuff on those belts. So let's follow those belts all the way down. You can see that there's a split off here for silicon. And then we also have a sorter here for lead. And then it pops back on if it gets too busy. But that is all going over to a naval area here where we have stuff getting added on. And we're just using the base level of the Rizzos, mainly because anything beyond that uses a lot more resources than what we have. So I don't want to go crazy with everything, but we have that set up. And really, this area was not hard to capture. I was busy working on this belt system here, getting all of this area sorted out and literally sorted out before I realized that the recording didn't work, and also that the sector was captured. So we captured the sector without any real problems, really quickly, really easily, and I'm pretty happy about it. This was a good mental reset for me after our last video where I just got rocked incredibly easily. Like, they just didn't even try. They just sent one ship in and just destroyed everything, and I was kind of at a loss. This feels better to have a sector set up here where we had mixed units, so we had air and sea units, which sea units seem to be really overpowered compared to everything else. So it felt good to have a setup where we could take care of those without too many problems, and then that we also were able to go in and get our own units set up and also set up a lot of production for other things. I really like that there's a ton of scrap in this sector. So that we were able to do more things with that as well. So that's kind of where my brain's at on this one. I apologize for the recording, but in all honesty, you didn't miss much. They would come in and I destroy them and kind of rinse and repeat. They did do a little damage up here. You can see that there is some stuff up here that they destroyed. But overall, not a bad sector, and it's nice to just feel a little confident again about what I'm doing. So if you know what or where I should go next, I asked in the last one if I should go to a name sector or if I should continue going to random sectors or what I should be doing. Please, I'm looking still for more feedback on that, so please let me know. And that's going to kind of leave us off here. I apologize about the recording, but as is life, and we'll talk to you later. All right, folks, thanks so much. Have a great one. I'll see you later.